If you're African or a Nigerian and you've ever wondered why independence didn't feel like freedom, this video is for you. This video is not to blame anyone, not to defend anyone, not to challenge an assumption many of us were taught to accept without questions. Because independence was celebrated as an ending, history would show it wasn't. Independence was supposed to change everything. Flags were raised. New anthems were written. Crowds gathered believing long struggles have finally reached its conclusion. The message was clear. We are now free. But almost immediately, reality began to disagree. The faces in power changed, yet pressure remained. Control remained distant, and for so many ordinary people, daily life felt strangely familiar. So beneath the celebration, a quiet contradiction emerged. If we were independent, why didn't it feel like freedom? We are actually giving simple answer. They say it was corruption, bad leadership, lack of discipline that Africans failed itself. And yes, corruption existed. Leadership mistakes were real. But those explanations collapsed under one question. If corruption alone were the cause, why did independence struggle in so many different places, under so many different leadership, in such similar ways? Patterns didn't repeat by accident. Here is the uncomfortable truth rarely stated plainly. Independence was sold as freedom. In practice, it was a transfer of responsibility without control. Colonial rulers left, but the system they built remained. Economic power often stayed external. Borders were inherited, not chosen. Institutions were designed to extract value, and independence never redesigned them. And the new government did inherit stability. They inherited systems designed to fail them. They were judged as if they had designed those systems themselves. So independence changed who governed, but not how power actually works. And that distinction explains more than we admit. Across Africa, new states were expected to do the impossible. Unify deeply different communities overnight. Run economies tied to foreign interests. Meet global expectations. Maintain external stability. All at the same time. In places like Congo, independence arrived before institutions could hold. In others, borders forced unrelated groups into permanent competition. Those weren't isolated mistakes. They were structural pressures. Different countries, same outcome. So here is the uncomfortable question we rarely ask. If independence came without control, what exactly were the new nations expected to do differently? This is where the story becomes human. When power is limited and pressure is extreme, competition intensifies. Identity becomes political. Resentment hardens, and survival starts to feel like a zero-sum game. Not because people suddenly become hateful, not because system forced communities to fight over institutions that were never designed to serve everyone equally. The tension didn't disappear. It reorganized. Independence was treated as an ending, but in reality, it was a beginning. Without preparation, without redesign, without even repair. The problem is not that independence failed. The problem is that independence was treated as complete when it wasn't. And unfinished systems don't fade with time. They echo. Once you see this, you begin to understand why the same struggle keeps resurfacing, and why progress feels fragile, and why history refuses to stay in the past, because it never ended. And the next question is, what happened after independence? And why did the 1960s matter so much?